Hey everybody. Today I just want to share a little bit about my Gethsemane experience. Um, and this will probably be part one. I probably have a lot of different parts because this experience has really um, been difficult for me. And so this, like I said, this will probably be part one of, I don't know, part one, two, three. I don't know how many parts it'll have, but just wanted to share a little bit about my Gethsemane experience. Um, I don't know about anybody else, but I have struggled in my relationships, and that's relationships with guys. And I've learned a lot over the years. I've been hurt, I've been disappointed, and I've prayed a lot of things around my relationships. Um, but uh, I've gone through a lot, and just recently, God brought this awesome, amazing guy into my life. And at times it was just like, oh my gosh, like this is too good to be true. This is like amazing. Like he got all the little things right. He appreciated who I am as a woman of God, and just got all the little things right. Everything that matters to me, he got right. And I was just so happy. I'm like, woo, just rejoicing. And there's a few things that I learned from this experience, and just, I guess, long story short, um, everything was just going great. Like I said, I was happy and everything. And just one night, I was just sitting with God, which I hadn't done in a long time, just sitting quietly. And God gave me this burden that, and just, he just was saying, that you can't be with this person. And I'm like, God, what you mean? Like, I don't understand. And I'm going back and forth with God about it, and just like, God, I know you want me to be happy. I know that, uh, I know, you want this for me. Like, why? I don't understand. Like, why would you give me such a wonderful blessing and then take it away? I don't get that. Like, I'm upset with you. You're being mean to me. Like I'm saying, I'm having these conversations with God, and this is over a span over like a week. Like I was really carrying this heavy burden, and I call it the Gethsemane experience because there's no other way for me to describe the hurt and the anguish and the pain, like the emotions that I was feeling about God giving me this burden. Like there's no other way for me to describe it than, oh my gosh, like these emotions that I'm feeling, this hurt, this burden I'm carrying, like it had to have been how Jesus felt when he was in the garden the night before he was crucified. Like that's how heavy the burden was that God gave me. And like as I'm going through this, I'm just saying to myself, like, God is really trying to get my attention. Like, I just, like, I have to focus on Him at this point in time in my life, because the burden was just too heavy. Like, I almost felt like I couldn't carry it. And like I said, I've been going back and forth with God about it or whatever, but and there's four things that I learned from this experience, and that I want to share with you guys. And the first one is that you got to be so careful about what you ask God for. And just going through this experience, I'm just remembering that a couple years ago, no, it's been more than a couple years, I asked God that He would bring me a husband, not a boyfriend. And even when I was praying the prayer, I'm like, God, I know it's going to take a little bit longer to prepare my husband, but that's what I want. And God answers prayers. He's a prayer answering God. So that brings me to point number two, that even when you are getting what you ask God for, He will give you the strength and the courage and the comfort, anything that you need to be able to get through the experience. He will give that to you. And the third thing that I want to share today, because like I said, this will probably be a 2-3 part series. But the third thing is that you have to be so careful to hold the blessings that God gives you with an open hand. Because it's so easy, I think, that when God blesses us with someone or something, it may be something in your life and not particularly someone. It was someone in my experience, but it may be something. When God blesses you with something, you have to be so careful to hold it with an open hand. Because I tell you what, when you clench that thing and you hold that thing so near and dear, and if he asks for it back, that could be very difficult. And if he has to pry it out of your hand, that's not going to be good for anybody in the situation. Because at the end of the day, God's will is always going to be done. Always. And it's just so much better. And it might not be easier in the beginning, but that's why I go back to he'll give you the comfort and the guidance and the strength to go through it. But it's so much easier to just yield your will to his will and not fight with him about things. Because again, he's the giver of every good and perfect gift. And, he has the bigger picture. He has the end in mind. And even though you may not understand it in the beginning, because even now I'm coming to understand what he's doing. He had to shake me and really get my attention, like, girl, I need your attention, to where you have to be so focused on me to get where I'm trying to take you. And so he used this experience to really grab my attention, because I think this was probably the only way and the only time that he could really grab my attention like he did. And so it's so much easier just to yield your will to his will and not fight with him about things, because like I said, at the end of the day, his will is always going to be done, and it's just going to be much easier and better for everyone in the situation if you just willingly lay down your will to his. So that's kind of the takeaways that I wanted to share today. And I know I want to talk a little bit later in a later post about obedience versus disobedience, because that's something that I've really been dealing with recently, is really hearing God's voice and knowing that it's him, but not but not being obedient, just doing what I want to do anyway. And there are definitely consequences for that. So I'll share that later. But today I just wanted to share those 3 points with you. Be careful what you ask God for. And even when he's taking you through it, he'll give you the comfort, the guidance, everything. And you can always stand on his word going through those things, and know that he's a comforter, counselor. He's whatever, everything you need him to be. He is that. And then to hold every blessing that God gives you with an open hand, because if he asks for it back, you won't be devastated. So those are the things that I wanted to share today, and hope you enjoyed and hope you gleaned something from this, and see you next time.